So this is the second impression video of the Dronemaster update. In the first video I was very excited and happy. I was still in the honeymoon phase of the update. But I'm still happy about the update. Um, I see a few cracks in the ceiling, like there was some stuff that I thought sounded better than it was on paper, but I'm still very happy with the update. I think the most important takeaway for me is before this update I kind of thought that Saber had given up on the game and like would maybe release a new map or two or whatever over the next year, but they had kind of given up on improving the game. It certainly felt that way to me because they didn't have any communication with the community and they hadn't implemented features that had been requested hundreds of times, like a difficulty gate, so that a level 1 player who plays his first game can't join an extreme game. They finally did something about that. And also just that they tried to balance the classes and improve on some of the perks that were so weak they were pretty much useless. To me that shows that they care about the game and are trying to improve it. And I wasn't so sure that they actually did care and would try to improve it before this update. So even if I'm not perfectly happy with everything they've changed, it's still a good sign that they actually changed and tried to improve things. And that's just the most important part to me. They're trying, at least. About the new class, the Dronemaster, as you can see I leveled it to Prestige 5, level 30, because I just grinded hard as soon as it came out. I like the class. It is a bit underpowered, I think, but like the other two primary support classes, Medic and Fixer, are probably the two most overpowered classes in the game. So if it would have to be like 4 drones to be better than them. So I'm actually happy that it's a bit underpowered. I would rather have that than it be overpowered. Masking is just the best perk in the game. You can't beat it. It's pretty much invulnerability. To some extent it's better because zombies enemies aren't chasing you, so like if you were just invulnerable you could get body blocked, but with masking you can get around things besides the not taking damage. But I'm somewhat happy with it. You know, if I would change something about it, it's very little adjustments that I think the class needs. Like maybe give it a little bit more utility with defenses, like giving it what's it called, combat engineer, so that it can yeah, combat engineer. Give it that maybe instead of multitasking, or like eye in the sky or something. One of these 2 rows maybe. And it would like give it more utility for both campaign but also especially for horde mode. It would be nice to have 2 classes with the combat engineer, I think, just to help with placing defenses. And yeah, it would be a lot more viable in horde mode if it had combat engineer instead of maybe multitasking eye in the sky. I'm also like, give it one offensive perk that's worth something, like the plus 25% reload for burst weapons. Isn't worth much, and you can start out with the worst weapon in the game, in my opinion. That's not worth much either. If you gave it like frontline supply, which returns ammo to the magazine on headshots, like give it that for burst weapons, returning 1, maybe 2 bullets per headshot. kill, or just headshot. I think it actually is. It's not necessarily kill. That might be good enough to take over wheatgrass. I'm not totally sure, but it would be worth something. Where these two skills aren't worth anything, in my opinion. Yeah. About builds for Dronemaster, I think this is like as close as we can get to the meta build so far. Go the distance, lightning storm, the big 5-0, wheatgrass, saving grace, sharing is caring, housekeeping, or keep it down, whatever you want. This doesn't really matter either. I just take Pocket Factory because you don't need a lot of drones with this setup. They'll pretty much never be depleted. Not on my watch. That's pretty much the meta build, I think. You can take long shot instead of go the distance, but then there's a much higher chance that your drone will deplete, which will mean that you might lose out on the chance for saving grace, like if your drone gets depleted just before you get hit, which is... there's a higher chance of that if you use long shot, because then yeah, it'll zap everyone if you're under a lot of pressure, but it'll also deplete itself before you need saving grace, so probably go the distance. It's still something that I need to play with a bit more to be sure of what's the better choice, but I mean both are good, but the safest is go the distance, I think, because saving grace is probably the best perk that the Dronemaster has. I'm not sure it works perfectly. I've been downed a couple of times where I can hear my drone is still up, so I think like saving grace should have kicked in, but I'm not sure what happens there. Sometimes the drone doesn't react if you get hit by a lurk or two or something, so it's not working perfectly, but it's like usually it's fine. I have played a bit solo with the firecracker perk, which is a loud drone, and that's almost too good. Then I use firecracker and parting gift, and I use parting gift because the drone will deplete itself pretty quickly, because the loud attack drone, whatever you want to call it, kills really fast. So if you solo the first horde event or whatever, it's gonna deplete really fast. So I almost think they should like make the radius smaller, 15 meters currently, like maybe put it down to 10, and then if we wanna make it even better, but I mean it's solo and I can't make 2 drones when I solo, so I'm not sure how effective it is if you like play several people or just at least have 2 Dronemasters and make 4 of these. That might actually not be like, it might actually be good. I'm not sure. But the safe bet is using the Zapper, the stun gun drone. It's not loud, but I think one should... I want to try out this with 4 firecracker drones and see what happens. But so far, this is the build that I use, unless I'm like trying out something for fun. Yeah, I think that's about it. Still happy with the update, happy with the class. It could use a bit more oomph, but the takeaway for me keeps being that they are actually trying to improve the game. I wasn't so sure before this update, but now, well, I'm not totally sure that they'll keep improving it, but there's signs at least. that they are gonna keep trying to improve it. So that's it.